The disc off of what? Off the tee box, right? Okay, then the disc gets closer and closer to the basket. After you throw that tee shot, whether it's a putter or whether it's a mid-range or whether it's a driver, you need to use what's called a mini marker to mark your disc, okay? So I'm gonna give you an example of that. So let's just say that I throw my tee shot and it lands right here, and there's the basket. You guys think that this right here goes behind, to the side, or in front of the disc?
In front.
In front of the disc, exactly right. Okay, so when you walk up to your disc, you have two options. The first option is you do not even have to lay a mini marker down if you do not like. You can just stand directly behind your disc. The second option is you can simply place that in front of your disc and now use that as your marker. So that's going to give you about another 8 to 10 inches. It really doesn't matter if you do that or not. A lot of people will use a mini because you kind of get in the habit of doing that, but it's not required. The second thing is you have to be able to stand within a certain distance behind your mini when you throw. So when you're throwing a putt, do you think you're allowed to stand in front of your mini closer to the basket?
No.
Do you think you can stand to the side this far?
No.
Where do you think you need to stand?
Behind it.
Behind it. That's a great answer. So this is a piece of paper. Do you guys use paper in school? Does it look about like that size? Normally about that size in notebooks, spiral notebooks, homework. We won't say homework. This is about the amount of space that you have behind your disc that you can stand. So if you want to be just a teeny bit off to the side, you're allowed to do that. All right, everybody see that? You guys will want to be able to put your foot back a couple inches. You're allowed to do that as well. And where that comes into play sometimes is you may have a tree or an obstacle in front of you. And if you're right up against your disc, that may be in your way if it's a tree. But if you take that step back, you give yourself a little bit more room to negotiate around that obstacle. Right? Does that make sense? So you have the freedom to be able to do that. But it's very important that you mark your disc either by standing behind your original throw or by laying a mini down and staying behind that. Does that make sense? Is that okay? All right, so what happens if you throw the disc and you miss the putt? What do you do from there? What are your two choices you can do from there? What'd you say? Put a mini down. What's the other option? Play from behind it. Exactly. Okay. The next thing I want to share with you guys is that when you putt, and this is something, again, you have to just figure out what's comfortable to you. There's two different styles of putting. Has anybody ever heard of that? Two different styles of putting. Does anybody know the answer to that? What kind of putting there is? Go ahead. A backhand. Okay, that's it. That's a style of putt. There's okay. That's the right answer, but not the answer I'm looking for. There's called a push putt. Everybody say that? And there's called a spin putt. Okay. You knew. And there's a turbo putt. That's right. You guys are smart. There are actually more than two style putts, but those are the two style putts I'm going to share with you guys today: are the spin putt and the push putt. So imagine you're out on a beach, hanging out with your buddies. The water's flowing, and someone pulls out a frisbee. Like, hey, you want to throw the frisbee? Like LG and I, Larry and I used to throw frisbee together all the time together. You say, yeah, let's do that. So when you throw a frisbee, do you think that you actually bend your wrist and throw it, or do you think you keep your wrist stiff like this and throw it? Bend it, right? So when you're throwing it, you're bending your wrist and you're throwing it versus just doing it like this. It's the exact same thing in putting. You have two different ways you can putt. The spin putt is going to be that when you putt, you're going to use your wrist and your arm to be able to release it. Everybody do it like this, bend your wrist and push forward. Even if you don't have a disc, just like that. That's going to make the disc spin really fast. And when you do that, it's going to go a little quicker and it's going to cut through the wind even harder if you use that style putt. So that is ideally the best way to putt, is a spin putt. But it comes with a little bit of discipline. If you use that style putt, you will fly by the basket further, more frequently. Meaning, traditionally, if you have a putt that you're going to putt and you miss it, and I will miss this intentional, on the spin, you're going to be further away, whereas a putt that I'm going to show you in a second is going to stop right by the basket. Okay, so spin putt is going to be a faster putt and can leave you further away from the basket, but gives you the best chance of making the putt. The push putt, if you don't mind me using this, you're going to leave your wrist stiff, and it's not going to put that amount of spin on it, and it's ultimately just going to lift the disc in the air high and back down, but it's going to leave it next to the basket. So you'll notice that first putt went through and past the basket. With this style of putt where you leave your wrist normal, we'll just go up and come straight down in the basket. Does that make sense? So you have to figure out what style of putt you want to use primarily. So like Larry Gardner, this gentleman right here, sponsored by Westside Disc Golf, he can throw it both ways, and he'll do it depending on how confident he's feeling, how the wind is blowing, the temperature outside, just what he feels like doing that day. So it is important to have both style putts, but I do encourage you guys to be able to use the spin putt, okay? Does that make sense? The last thing I'm gonna share with you, and then I'll let you guys get out there, is there's something called a green in disc golf, and they call it circle one. You guys ever watch regular golf where they hit it and they're trying to land it on that cool, flat, green surface? You know what I'm talking about? In disc golf, that is called circle one, and it is 33 feet from the basket. So as an adult, and I don't know in little steps, but as an adult, that's about 11 steps away from the basket. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 steps, so about this far from the basket. If you are inside or closer to the basket from there, when you make a putt, you have to be able to maintain your balance behind the disc. And this is one of the most common mistakes in disc golf when people are starting. So if you are inside the circle, that 33 feet or circle one, when you putt, you have to maintain your balance back behind the disc before you go get your disc. So this right here in disc golf, when you're inside, you cannot step forward when you putt. If you like this, you cannot lean forward when you putt. It has to come to rest in the basket before you go get it, and you have to maintain your balance. If you are outside of that circle one, you can do whatever you want. You can jump like this and throw it. You can step forward and throw it. As long as you release the disc before this foot hits forward, then that is legal. But it's very, very important if you're inside that 33 feet that you do not fall forward on your putt. So I'm going to give you a couple examples. So here's 33 feet, here's here. Is this a legal putt?
No.
No, because it's inside of the circle, right? So that's not a legal putt. I'll do it one more time. So we're inside 33 feet. I throw a putt like this. Is that legal?
No.
No. The answer is no on that one. What about if I were to stand like this and to do that?
Yes.
Not legal. Nothing stepping forward on your putt is legal if you're on the green. And that's why it's so important, because it's hard to be able to do that, because you see a lot of people starting disc golf. Well, they'll just kind of be like this and then just kind of walk it up like that. Throw in the basket, right? That's an advantage, because if you get this close and you're going to putt, this would be a big advantage, especially for tall people like me. I just do this. Right? That's not fair. I can even take it out a little further. Right? That's why it's very important. So, would this be a legal putt? Yes, right? Because I came back and maintained my balance. Let's try another style. Would this be a legal putt? Yes, that is a legal putt. I didn't fall forward. So that's one to work on a little bit. Something to think about. We're going to go back to a question I asked earlier. What is the #1 rule in disc golf? I need everyone to say it. Have fun. All right. A couple other thoughts. When you guys are out there today, it's important not only that you have fun, but to make a new friend. Some of the best friends I've made in my life have come through disc golf. This will make sense to some and maybe not to others, but there's literally multi-year generation kids that are here. You got a grandkid of Larry Gardner, you got a kid with Jay Slack, you got generations, parents, grandparents of people that are out here today that have played disc golf, that have been doing it their whole life because they love the fun, they love the friendship, they love the competition, they love the exercise. So whatever it is that makes you enjoy disc golf, I encourage you to continue to come out, continue to try to have fun. If you have a bad day, sometimes we all do, then it's okay. Come back the next day. That's the best thing about golf. The reason I've been playing for 30 years is because I've never got it right. I just continue to try and I continue to get better. There's never a perfect round, similar to the message earlier. It's not perfect, but we just continue to work to be able to get better. And if we do that, then we've done disc golf justice, and we've brought something new into our lives that's meaningful and fun. So today, have fun, enjoy the course. Welcome to Tulsa. Thank you, parents, for taking the time to come out and spend time with your kids today. I do fundraising for a nonprofit on the side, or for my real job. And one of the studies that recently saw is you have families spending 30 minutes or less as a family unit outside per week. And it just continues to deteriorate with that family units getting together to spend time. So coming out today and showing that this is important to you and your family with your kids is freaking just awesome. So thanks to the parents, thanks to the grandparents, thanks to the kids. I'm gonna get out of your way and let you have some fun. Enjoy today.
Let's give everybody give them a hand.